The Philadelphia Eagles are going to stop the three-peat and win this Super Bowl here in 2025. I got like 30 minutes to post this video before it will timestamp as Sunday, and I don't want that. I just woke up late. So I'm trying to post this before midnight here on Saturday. Tomorrow's the Super Bowl. Just woke up. I was going to shave and stuff, but F it, I want to post this thing. My legacy is picking Super Bowl winners. I've picked wrong 2 times in like the last 20 plus years. I had picked wrong when I said the Chiefs would beat Brady and the Bucks. That was an embarrassment. Chiefs sucked. I also picked wrong like in 2015 or so when I had Peyton Manning and the Broncos. And he got destroyed by the Seahawks. Other than that, I've been right. Some great ones was picking with Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, picking the Steelers to win as well, picking Brady and the Patriots. That one got lucky when they beat the Seahawks because instead of just running it in on the 1 yard line, they threw it interception. So that was a lucky break. I threw down the biggest amount on a Super Bowl yet when I put $20,000 on the Chiefs 2 years ago to start this three-peat, and that is what that is right there. That's Jesus wearing my Chiefs hat. So I got on the Tiger Woods hat today because I'm so conflicted what I want to go with. I got this just for some MAGA energy. We are in the Trump gangster era. So I'm just wearing this for some MAGA energy. And I am so conflicted. If you can't tell, with that up on the wall, that has been like that since the Chiefs won me 20 grand 2 years ago. And you may be like, why aren't you betting with the Chiefs? Because it is my team. That's why Jesus has worn that Chiefs hat for 2 years. I'm telling you, until Taylor Swift and Kelsey are gone and I can enjoy watching the Chiefs again, I will not be betting them. And it's costing me money. It's been really hurtful, really harmful, and it's so bittersweet because that is my dad's team, and I cried over the Chiefs winning 2 years ago because my dad died right before the Chiefs could win 2 years ago to start this three-peat. But look this is all about 3 factors, and everyone could be like, oh, no one's stopping them. It's all about the three-peat. That's the motivation. Well, you know what? You know what is a bigger factor is the revenge factor. The revenge factor. So Jalen Hurts wants revenge. And you see it all the time when a player gets traded from a team or whatever. He always comes back and F's up that team. Now, this isn't that. Jalen Hurts was never on the Chiefs. But he felt pain 2 years ago when Mahomes beat him in the Super Bowl. And I had that. I called that. So I knew Jalen Hurts wasn't up for the job 2 years ago. So I had the Chiefs easily by the most money I've ever bet on the Super Bowl. I knew the Chiefs were going to beat the Eagles 2 years ago. Now, last year, because Taylor Swift clown show came to town, and, it's just sickening, this whole conspiracy that the NFL just brought her in just to increase female viewership, and just it's so sickening, all these phantom ref calls, which literally cost me 100 grand betting the Bills 2 weeks ago in the AFC Championship, where the Bills got the inch they needed, and the refs just pretended like they didn't get it, and the Bills got 11 yards and 13 yards these other downs, and they always are marking them short and, making them get 13, 14 yards to get first downs, and the refs, NFL scammed the Bills of going to the Super Bowl. And I should have believed it. I believed in the Taylor Swift conspiracy that was going to prevent anyone but the Chiefs from going to the Super Bowl. But I didn't believe in it. So it cost me a lot. I want Dave Portnoy of Barstool Sports to sue the NFL, class action. I want to jump in that thing. I don't know why he hasn't yet. Maybe because he had the Bills $1 million to win it all, so it's hard for him to prove that the riggage or whatever, that he was still going to win, because he still would have had to have won another game. But anyway, I digress. So 3 things here why the Eagles are going to win. The revenge factor. The revenge factor is powerful, and it offsets whatever motivation of the three-peat factor that the Chiefs have. revenge factor, man. The Eagles want it bad. They want to get revenge. And then the second factor that goes with that is they want to take down the champs. Everyone plays out their mind when you're playing against the champs. So even though like the Chiefs had a bye week in this playoffs and the Eagles had to play an extra game, it really feels like the Chiefs had to exert all of their energy, even though they also had the refs' energy on their side, because like the Eagles skated through the Packers game. It was tough versus the Rams, and then they skated through the Washington Commanders game really easily. Meanwhile, the Texans gave them their best shot, and then the Bills, of course, absolutely gave them the best shot. They had to grind that game. The Chiefs had to grind that game out, exerting all their energy, trying to stop them on all those fourth downs, all those 2-point conversions. So really, the Chiefs, it's like the Chiefs played 2 games going against the Bills 2 weeks ago. So there's no like, oh, the Chiefs have had an easier ride in these playoffs. Not really. No, you try to take down the champs, and you're giving them your best. So the Chiefs have had to exert all their energy to get to this point, even in spite of the refs on their side. But I really believe that wanting to take down the champs is going to make the Eagles play their best, combined with the revenge factor of failing 2 years ago. They're going to learn from, and the Eagles are way better than that 2022 team, and the Chiefs are a lot worse than that 2022 team. The Chiefs could easily have had so many losses this year and not had a first round bye in the playoffs, and get home field advantage, but they lucked out. They skated through these games. They barely won these games. They just got so lucky winning like fluke weird plays to win games right at the end. So bottom line is like they got so lucky. And you know why? Because they skated through the games. Why? Because they're fat cats. They're like, there's no sense of urgency, which leads me to the second biggest factor. And this is my third though, because I already said taking down the champs is a massive motivator. Taking down the 3-peat champs is a massive motivator. And the revenge factor is the most powerful factor of all. But like the second most powerful out of the 3 now that I'm saying is the sense of urgency factor. You see, the Eagles absolutely are like, they have max sense of urgency. They absolutely believe like maybe this is it, like Jalen Hurts especially realizes like, when is he going to be back in the Super Bowl again? Maybe never. It's like you get a second chance to take down Mahomes, and it is now or never, right? He absolutely appreciates the moment that he may not be back here. Now, of course, everyone could be like, man, you never know when you'll ever be back. It's just in the Super Bowl. You can't take things for granted. And I'm sure Mahomes believes in that kind of thing too. He's a super professional. So he might be playing with a sense of urgency, although he wasn't his best a lot of the year as well. But a lot of these other players on the Chiefs, they're probably like, hey man, we got Mahomes, we got a dynasty going, we're gonna be back here a bunch. And whether they like to admit it or not, or whether they realize it or not subconsciously, you just can't play out your mind and at your absolute extra best when you're a fat cat, when things have just been getting handed to you by the refs or by insane, ridiculous luck all year. And it shows. Like, they really are not as good as the 2 previous years, and the Eagles are better than their 2022 run. And so I believe that the Eagles have a sense of urgency to win this Super Bowl game, and the Chiefs do not have a sense of urgency to win. And that's a big deal. It's going to be a big thing. So I believe the Eagles seize the moment because of that. And it's going to allow them to prevail. In spite of the riggage of seeing Kelsey propose to Taylor Swift after the 3-peat, and then they get to be the evil villains all next year. That's what the NFL wants. But I think they just wanted to make sure they got to the Super Bowl, and then they take the foot off the gas of rigging it just a little bit at least, and they allow the natural destiny or not to prevail. And I just, listen, Chiefs are my team. It's my dad's team. We rooted for them since like Alex Smith days, and always losing to Peyton Manning and the Broncos. And it was so sweet seeing the Chiefs win, against the Eagles 2 years ago to start the 3-peat. But I'm telling you, man, it's just I wish it didn't bother. I let Taylor Swift factor bother me so much. I don't want to see her be so happy and being able to, she's happy enough in her life. It's just so crazy. People they're not supposed to be able to get so happy and get such perfect luck on every aspect of their life, like Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are getting in these last 2 years. And I believe that the due factor says they're due for some bad luck. Mahomes being 15-0 in closed domed stadiums is absolutely absurd. In 2022, he did lose to the Colts, but it was like the roof was open that day. So he's 15-0, so he's finally going to be 15-1 because he's absolutely due to lose. And you know, at the end of the day, it's just so weird to think that if the Chiefs do three-peat and then they have won 4 out of the last 5 Super Bowls, that it will only have been from 2 teams, the beating 2 teams. They will have beat the 49ers 2 times, and they will have beat the Eagles 2 times. And 49ers try to get revenge, on the Chiefs, and couldn't last year, right? But that was different quarterbacks, so the revenge factor wasn't at full force because it was Garoppolo's first time around, a couple years prior, and the Chiefs won in a ridiculous fourth quarter way, getting 21 points unanswered. And then last year was Brock Purdy trying to get the 49ers the win, get redemption over the Chiefs. And no, so two of the 3 Chiefs Super Bowls in this era have been because the 49ers lost. And now, are we really going to see the Chiefs get 2 more Super Bowls because the Eagles lost? I mean, it'd be crazy that all the Chiefs wins, all of Mahomes' Super Bowls are because he beat the 49ers and the Eagles. And when he played a true, amazing, awesome quarterback, Brady, that Mahomes didn't even show up for that game, and the Bucs beat him easily. So I'd like to believe that the Chiefs, it's really they don't really deserve this. They shouldn't really be here this year. They haven't played had a great year. They skated by because they're fat cats, and they lack that sense of urgency. That's going to be the difference. That subconscious little sense of urgency where they think they're just going to be taking this for granted from now on. The Eagles are not taking anything for granted, and we're going to see that matter. And I believe that the 49ers failed to redeem their loss to the Chiefs second time around, but the Eagles will not fail in getting revenge and redemption the second time around. We're all really tired of seeing Chiefs 49ers or Chiefs Eagles, so here we go. Hopefully finally it's done, because if the Chiefs win again, then what, next year we're going to see Chiefs 49ers or Chiefs Eagles again? No, we just need to be done with this clown show. And again, if you're confused why I got Chiefs on the Jesus and why I haven't been betting the Chiefs, riding the Chiefs to so much more money, I'm letting Taylor Swift cost me money. I mean, it's also equal because Travis Kelce, he's this fake masculine dude. He's so obnoxious. He tries to be like Gronkowski. Gronkowski has this natural funniness, naturalness to his toughness, his masculinity, and he's funny. And he doesn't try. And everything about Kelce, though, it's like this pretentious. And it's just like this, it's so obnoxious. Oh my God. And he became the vaccine spokesperson in 2021 or 2022. And it's like, dude, what a sellout, mainstream sellout freaking commercial. Look it up on YouTube. Kelce vaccine, Pfizer commercial. He shows him getting the freaking vaccine and putting a Band-Aid on it. And it just sickens me. So that with him and the whole Taylor Swift thing and the clown show she brings, and it's like, come on, seriously, out of everything possible, this Taylor Swift had to come to my team, my dad's team, and ruin my enjoyment because, wow. So hopefully this ends it all. Kelce retires and Taylor Swift just goes away, and I don't have to keep seeing her 20 times a game, watching Chiefs games. Next year I can start enjoying it again. Because, last year, by the way, I did not bet the 49ers, but I said, hey, if you force me to pick, I'll go with the 49ers because I want to see this over with the Chiefs because of Taylor Swift and all that, so I didn't bet. I sat it out. I even had the Rams. I had Bengals plus 3.5 to beat the Rams in the Super Bowl a couple years ago, and then the really good one, I had the Eagles. I bet the Eagles with Nick with Nick Foles in 2018. That was a cool one. So I really don't think much of Jalen Hurts, whatever. But he's matured and stuff like that, and that might be all it takes this time to take down, Mahomes, who's just out there just running around like very, just kind of winging it, just kind of casual about everything. He's kind of a fat cat about it all too. Whether he can realize it or not, subconsciously he's a fat cat, and he lacks that sense of urgency. And whether he appreciates the game and all that, and he might realize how hard it is to get to Super Bowls, but I don't know if he really can appreciate how hard it is to get to Super Bowls, given how lucky he's been going to 4 out of the last 5 years. And the one that was really, up against a real quarterback, he failed big time. And I just don't give him that much credit for all of his Super Bowls are just beating Garoppolo and Brock Purdy and Jalen Hurts, who literally got benched in his college bowl game. So here's Jalen Hurts 2 years later, felt pain, revenge factor in play now, sense of urgency for him in play, because these Eagles players, they aren't fat cats. They know, man, this could be their last chance to ever win. Especially with that knock down the champs, and let's freaking make an amazing, unbelievable name for ourselves, more than just knocking over any other champ. This is like a freaking knockover of 3-peat champ. So this is these are my reasons, plus with the do factor to lose. 49ers failed to get revenge. Eagles will not fail to get revenge. And I'm going big. Not as big as I bet, because when I bet 20 grand on the Chiefs, that was a for sure feeling for me. Eagles had no chance. This time I'm just going to throw 10 grand, 15 grand. Not as much. I don't feel as great about it. Of course, you can never be sure against freaking Mahomes and this 3-peat and the refs helping them and all this and that. I can't believe how sickening that was. The Bills won the game 2 weeks ago, and the refs would not allow the Bills to win the game. Just always taking the ball and marking it short from the yardage they kept getting on first downs. Anyway, said enough. There we go. My record's on the line. Last 20 years, I'm 18-2 betting the Super Bowl. Picking the Super Bowl last year. I was gonna sit out this one too, but I'm 2 straight years I'm gonna sit out because I just can't bet against the Chiefs. But I've decided to bet against the Chiefs this year. I did with the Bills last year. That hurt me, So I bet the Chiefs against Brady 4 years ago. That hurt me. I bet the Chiefs but I only put 5 grand on that. I bet the Chiefs 2 years ago against the 49ers. That was great. That was my biggest bet yet. And then last year I didn't bet, and I should have, because I would have made a lot of money with the Chiefs. And now this year, if the Chiefs win and I didn't bet them, and I bet against them, like I bet against them 2 weeks ago in the AFC Championship, man, it will really have cost me a lot, because it's just a crazy double swing of loss, because I could have just been betting the Chiefs these last 3 years and riding this wave, riding this 3-peat, and all because of Taylor Swift, and also because Kelsey. And the whole other thing is Kelsey's brother's so annoying, and we're so sick of seeing the Kelseys everywhere on commercials and everything, and they gotta have their podcast. They actually have even good opinions or anything like that. They're just freaking egotistical meatheads. And then, Kelsey's brother's wife somehow just pops up out of nowhere and has the #1 podcast over Joe Rogan. Absolute nonsense. Absolute fake manipulated BS. They paid a publicist to pay off some media outlets to put out some fake stories. So it's just a common theme of fake manipulated BS everywhere, from Kelsey's brother's wife. Who is she? Oh yeah, right, she really has the #1 podcast. That's fake news. To just never ending Chiefs winning, and they don't even look good doing it. But champs find a way to win. Well, guess what? My reasoning for why they're doing it is because they're fat cats. They're fat cats, and they lack that edge they need to get over that hump. And 2 weeks ago against the Bills, they had to exert all of their extra mental energy, and it's they had to grind that out and play 2 games to stop the Bills at all those 4th downs. Then they didn't really stop them anyway, and stop them from the 2-point conversions, which they did. It took a lot of energy. They had to grind that game out. They're going to lack that. Saquon Barkley's going to just freaking bulldoze his way through. Jalen Hurts is going to get revenge. The revenge factor, I've had revenge factor in my life. Revenge factor can fuel you to great heights, fuel you to do things that you weren't capable of doing. And that's going to be the story for the Eagles tomorrow in the Super Bowl, to stop the Chiefs from 3-peating. Boom, there it is. Colbert Aramo Dollar Scholar picks on record saying so.